Capability, different, not the same thing. And here's the way Kissinger and Schultz do it. Here we are. Negotiations by the U.S. and Iran. Negotiations that began 12 years ago as an international effort to prevent an Iranian capability, there it is, capability, to develop a nuclear arsenal, are ending with an agreement that concedes this very capability. Concedes this capability, although short of the full capacity in the first 10 years. In other words, he says this is a limited capability. Again, the problem with capability is this. There are 20, 30 countries in the world that have the capability. It's not possible to know how many of them really have nuclear weapons assembled or nuclear weapons in two parts that are kept in separate rooms but could be assembled in 30 minutes by a company of engineers. This we don't know. Essentially, having the capability means, are you modernized? Do you have a modern labor force? Do you have modern technology? Do you have a full set economy? Have you got some centrifuges? Okay. Have you got a power reactor you can use? Have you got a research reactor? All of those things, when you put them together, add up to a capability. The attempt to deprive anybody of the capability is the equivalent of saying you will be backward, underdeveloped, poor, wretched, and scorned forever. It cannot be accepted. Most self-respecting countries would rather fight than put up with that. And of course, in the Middle East, we're also told proliferation. This is another big theme here. What happens if the Middle East is proliferated? Ask Kissinger and Schultz. Well, Kissinger wrote the book, didn't he? Nuclear Weapons and Foreign Policy, 1957. What happens when you have several powers is you have deterrence. And he says, yeah, but it's many-sided. As it was. At a certain point, we had the United States, the Soviet Union, nuclear powers. And we had Britain. Then we had France. This was not the same thing. Then we had China. Then we had others. So I don't see it. They talk about proliferation as if that were, by definition, the end of the world. And, of course, the Saudis, we know, have been trying to get their hands on Pakistani weapons, a Pakistani guarantee of a Pakistani nuclear umbrella, so that Pakistan would bomb Iran if Iran bombed Saudi Arabia. Again, long Pakistani border with Iran, Shiite minority inside Pakistan, and this also works. This works in both directions. What you will get is a regime of deterrence, and it may be unstable. That's somehow not something you can easily avoid in today's world. Why didn't you neocons think of that when you attacked Iraq and then Libya? That was the best object lesson, that the United States will attack anybody who doesn't have a nuclear weapon. Therefore, anybody who wants to survive had better get one. Now, I don't know whether that lesson was received in Iran or not. Anyhow, the problem here is that Nixon and Kissinger and Schultz, both of them worked for Nixon. If the world is to be spared even worse turmoil, the United States must develop a strategic doctrine for the region. Stability requires an active American role. For Iran to be a valuable member of the international community, it has to accept restraints on its ability to destabilize. Now, one of the things, they mainly they're whining, mainly they're not happy. They don't see the ability to cooperate. Yeah, but we just had it, didn't we? How about the fall of Tikrit? What was the lesson of the fall of Tikrit? We can now say a little bit more about this. We knew that the people organizing the attack on Tikrit knew that if they gave that information to the U.S. Central Command or the Pentagon or anybody in that command structure that they would be betrayed, that ISIS would be warned, because we have General Allen and we have General Petraeus who practically say that you've got to cooperate with Sunni militaries or paramilitaries or forces. It means ISIS. It means ISIS is a creature of the U.S., the British, the Saudis, the French, this usual cast of characters. The Israelis undoubtedly a hand in it. So the lesson of Tikrit is that this attack now, more and more, it becomes out that the assault was planned by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, and they stipulated, don't tell the U.S., we can do better without them. We'll provide our own air cover, and don't tell them. And then the U.S. insisted, once it was clear that this was going to succeed, the U.S. piled on with air attacks. And the air attacks are controversial because there are some sources that will tell you that the air attacks were actually more interested in trying to assassinate additional commanders of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard than they were with actually taking out some of these ISIS targets. So there is a cooperation. In other words, if you're interested in maintaining civilization in that part of the world, you can do all kinds of things with Iran. But if you want to support ISIS and mass murder and chaos, then the Iranians are not as compliant. Back in a minute.
If you constantly feel run down and tired, your pH level might be low and your body could be full of toxins. If what you drink is not at a pH level of 8 or higher, you are inviting bacteria and acid to thrive in your body. But there is something you can do. Simply add 10 drops of AlkaVision Plasma pH drops to your water to help your body rid itself of acidic waste, increase oxygen, and raise your pH balance to optimum levels. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops combine a unique formula of the most alkaline minerals in the world, alkalizing the water you drink, ridding your body of acidic waste and toxins, and helping you regain energy and vibrant health. And studies show viruses, bacteria, and toxins cannot survive in an alkaline, high pH environment. Order your bottle of AlkaVision Plasma pH drops at alkavision.com. That's ALKA vision.com. Or call 269-409-1776. 269-409-1776. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com today.
So we decided to upgrade the look of our home.
You know, improve the curb appeal.
We decided to add the look of stone to the exterior.
We really like the stacked stone look.
Yeah, but when I checked into the price, it was ridiculous. No way could we afford it.
Then a friend told me about Genstone. Genstone.
Genstone comes in lightweight panels made of polyurethane. They've actually engineered the hassle out of installation. No mortar, no mesh. It was easy. Even I could do it.
We just screwed the panels to the wall and it looks like stone. I mean, it really looks like stone.
Yeah, from the box to the wall in minutes.
We love the look of our home now.
And Genstone is durable, comes with a 25-year warranty, and offers additional R value for insulation.
If you want the look of stone at a price you can afford, call Genstone
at 855-955-STONE.
Trust me, you'll save money.
And you'll love the look.
855-955-STONE. That's 855-955-7866.
A little over a year ago, I began to do a lot of research into why, even if I had a pretty good-sized meal, that I was still starving. And my research led me to a well-known fact that most of the soils that we grow our crops on here in the United States and across the industrialized world are almost completely depleted of almost all of the key minerals and trace elements that our bodies need to rebuild themselves, fight off cancer, and be healthy. I then searched out the best vitamin and mineral company out there and discovered Youngevity. The Youngevity products are designed to give you the real nutrition you need, and once you've got that, you don't have to eat as much to be satisfied. I've lost 37 pounds in 2 months. simply getting the vitamins and minerals I need. Check it out for yourself. It's incredible. Go to InfoWarsTeam.com today and order your first canister of Beyond Tangy Tangerine Complete Multivitamin Mineral Complex Dietary Supplement. That's InfoWarsTeam.com.
If the IRS has garnished your paycheck or seized money from your bank account, you need to get professional tax help now. Fast action is required to put a halt to these aggressive IRS collection tactics. You can count on the knowledgeable team of tax professionals at Wall & Associates. With over 30 years of experience, Wall & Associates has settled the tax problems of thousands of taxpayers for a small fraction of what they owed. For a free face-to-face consultation, call 1-800-425-4610 to put a wall between you and the IRS. 1-800-425-4610 or look for us on the web at wallandassociates.net. We solve tax problems. If you hire Wall & Associates today, you'll never have to talk to the IRS again. To stop the levies and seizures today, take action now. Call Wall & Associates at 1-800-425-4610. Wall & Associates. 1-800-425-4610. Based on actual cases, results may vary, not a solicitation for legal services.
A little right, a little left, but always independent-minded. The Genesis Communications Network, GC.
Welcome back to World Crisis Radio. Webster Tarpley speaking from Washington, D.C. The cherry blossoms here are nearing their peak, which means that various kinds of pollen are also nearing their peak. Now, we got to make some points rather rapidly. The lesson of Tikrit, therefore, was this. The Iranians were interested in deflating the myth of ISIS invincibility. The U.S., of course, at least Allen and Petraeus and their faction, because that's what it is, they were interested in puffing up the invincibility of ISIS. So the Iranians figured, cut them out of it. By the way, now, we've had all kinds of things going on. A Secret Service official, supervisor, has been involved in looks like a sexual assault. That's number one. We had one employee of the Census Bureau here in Suitland, Maryland. Person killed here last night, and that whole neighborhood shut down for several hours. It was a kind of repetition of the attack on the Navy Yard offices a year or two ago. This time smaller, but same idea. And generally speaking, the entire array on the White House and the Secret Service, those are warnings. That you give another example, right? Many buildings, key buildings in downtown Washington, D.C., were shut down by a power stoppage this week. And it allegedly comes from a small transfer station way down in southern Maryland, and the way that things kicked in. Whoever did that in the system, and they wanted to give a pointed message to a limited number of people, right? The White House was blacked out. The various Smithsonian buildings were blacked out. Some subway stations were blacked out. What was that? Well, I would say it's probably a message from people who don't like the Iranian deal. Which ones? I don't know. But Petraeus, Allen, those people, that's where you can start. The U.S. invisible government, parallel government, deep state, that's who's sending messages to Obama, and that ought to be pretty clear. And they've got the Republicans in Congress working with the invisible government. The people like Boehner and McConnell are the faces, the masks worn by this shadowy, invisible government entity behind the scenes. Now, concerning Ukraine and related matters, just to say a few words about this. Yarosh, the fascist leader, the leader of Right Sector, is now going to be even more intimately integrated into the military structure of the Kiev fascist government. Yarosh is an unreconstructed, impudent Nazi and fascist. And